Now go.
Fine, thank you. So there's been an alternate motion. Just before we go on, I'm wondering whether we should have a couple of subcommittees in relation to the organisational structure and in relation to the resistance issue. Does anyone want to, what do members think about that?
If you think it's, I don't know, refer to general manager, but if you think it's necessary to form official subcommittees of the council, or whether you just do
Workshops.
and invite all council members.
I think referring to them as a working party would be absolutely fine.
Or whether we have a workshop of all, I think Member Fry is suggesting a workshop of all members. But I suppose with something like the organisation structure, you probably need a tighter group.
Yeah, okay, just so there's a bit of...
On resistance, I'm assuming that the Chief Biosecurity Officer and the General Manager will come back with findings of their resistance.
Yeah.
And with a suggestion as to where we should go with that.
Okay.
And that would then be set up as a working party, but it's probably until we get to that stage.
We could bring a draft,
Yes.
protocols, etc.
So if you're maybe.
So do you want to form them now?
Well, I think on the organisational structure, the General Manager is suggesting he would like some assistance.
Okay, so, well then, we might as well create them all, so maybe.
So who would like to go on the organisational structure form group? Jill, Member O'Grady, Member Ring, Member Gullen.
Yeah, I'm fine. How many do you need?
I'd suggest three or four. So are we happy with three? Any others?
We've got Jill, Steve, and
Cam. Anyone else want to go on that one? Okay, I think basically the group will obviously have to come back for any major organisational changes, but it will look at a number of scenarios as to what we can do, and then come make some suggestions. It's probably good. I mean, in the last term we did consider a few scenarios, but I think it's good for a new group to sort of come in helicopter and have a look at that and see what makes sense and what doesn't. Yeah. And then if you need to talk to self or Member Fry, etc., that's good. But or we can attend if you would like some assistance. But I think it's good maybe to have a different look at it. Go and tear it apart. Yep. Okay, so
and your resistance group, you want to form that?
Well, we think I think we talked about maybe it's a little early yet until the resistance tests come back and further discussions with DPI, but I'll defer it.
What I see the group doing is actually developing our protocols. How do we select the farms that we are testing, and what's the requirements to actually be a part of that process? The biggie is, what are we going to say at the back end of this? What's our communication with these landholders that go through the testing and we find that they have resistance? What are we going to talk to them about? So I think there's some key issues there that the group can bring back, and then the council will need to resolve whether or not that's the direction they want to go. Right. So I see the resistance one may be a workshop at the end. That's what I think would be the main way to go. But I'd like to involve nice and early, because once we started talking about this now, so it is a public issue. And last time we spoke about it, it got into the paper with a whole lot of stuff. And what I want to demonstrate is we're aware of it, it's a real thing, and we're now managing it. So whatever we come up with, it's going to have to satisfy the puff test as well. So, Mr. Chairman, I think a work group would be really helpful to kick that off. Right.
Okay, so we have a resistance work group. Do you have any nominations for that?
Yeah.
Yes,
Marnie.
tell us, that's great. Thank you. Others? Any others?
You need more than two?
Not necessarily, no, and I think there's some technical expertise there, so that will assist both members who put their hands up, so I think that's quite good too. And then, I mean, if it maybe becomes a, how do we transmit this, and maybe Member Fryer would get involved with his experience in social media and media.
Yeah, I envisage the chair and deputy chair having a right of audience to all those subcommittees.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
So if I could read the recommendation now as it reads, and if someone could put it as a motion, I think it's probably the easiest way. We have the council, 1, notes the report. 2, forms a general manager's recruitment subcommittee consisting of members Fry, Price Jones, McKibben and Ring. 3.
Oh, sorry, can I add to that?
Yes.
And 2 independent members. Or do you want that subcommittee to meet and then determine the
I think,
process?
yes,
Okay.
I think we just determine how it
No,
meets.
that's
We
fine.
need independent members, we'll go to that.
Yeah,
And it may be that we engage
Who knows, but-
council general manager or something, but let's go that way first.
lovely.
3, the council, 3 will be an organisational structure subcommittee consisting of member O'Grady, member Ring and member Gulliver. And 4 forms a resistance subcommittee of members O'Grady and member Thomas. Have I got that correct, everyone?
Yep.
If so, could I have someone to move the motion following that recommendation? Thanks, member Gulliver. Member Fry, thank you. Would you like to discuss it at all? Member Fry?
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Chair. I think the priorities are set out in the table, as members can see. There's a few there, and this amendment, I guess, is just speaking to a few of those picked out. We note the general manager not seeking a reappointment to his role July next year, so it's important to start that process, as we'll be looking for quite a specific on that role come June 2025. So thanks for your patience with articulating that amendment for us.
Alternate motion.
Alternate motion, apologies.
Or a motion, because we didn't get to it. Yeah, thank you. Any further discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion as heard and read. All in favour? Passed unanimously. Item 12, which is the chairman's minute. There's no chairman's minute, but I will take the opportunity, which I think I can at this stage, to, as a delegate to this committee, I attended with the general manager a Teams meeting with the New South Wales Biosecurity Commissioner on Wednesday of this week. The meeting was meant to be for an hour, and 3/4 an hour, went for an hour and a half, I think. The presentations that we had today in the workshop preceding this meeting were used as part of our presentation to the New South Wales Biosecurity Commissioner, Dr. Marion Healy. As a result of that, there was a lot of discussion involving the presentation. There was a lot of discussion as to how we did the work. And I think there was basically, the Commissioner had not had any information previously from county councils or control authorities about how they had dealt with weed control in such a methodical and systematic way. She was very impressed. She was also has requested a lot more information, which we have been providing her over the last few days, including about setting up a biosecurity fund for funding prosecutions, and also in relation to how this could be maybe extended out further. So there may be opportunities for this organisation to have a wider ambit. We're not certain. I certainly can't predict that at this stage. But I have to say that the presentation, I think, went particularly well, and we were very well received by the Biosecurity Commissioner. We are continuing to be requested for further information, and I think we had another request today, didn't we? Yeah, yes. So there's obviously a considerable amount of interest in what we do and how we do it. How we do it, I think, is the crucial question. And that is going to be feeding up to the Biosecurity Commissioner, who is also dealing, as General Manager indicated, with the Natural Resources Commission at the moment as well. I'm happy to take any questions on that issue. Thank you very much. Item 13 is the governance program. The recommendation is that Council adopt the annual report 2023-24 that includes the audited financial statements for the financial year 2023-24, LG Act Section 413. The annual report must also include CTWA's achievements of the operational plan and the delivery program, Local Government Act Section 428, and must be posted to the CWA website by 30th of November 2024. Could I have a motion, please? Member Fry and Member Ing. That's following in the form of the recommendation. Thank you. Would you like to speak to that, Member Fry? Member Ing? Any further discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion as per the recommendation. All in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you. 13.2 is the 13.2.1 is the quarterly budget review statement. The recommendation is the Council notes the quarterly budget review statement for the period of the 30th September 2024 and adopts the proposed budget adjustments. Could I have a motion, please? Members? Member Michelle Price-Jones. Seconder, please. Member Ring, thank you. All right. Member Price-Jones.
I really, the only thing I wanted to say about that was the opportunity possibly to have a session just before a meeting, the next meeting, to go through how that's put together and get a better understanding of how that works.
Yes, a quarterly budget review process.
Yeah,
Yes.
just sort of even for those interested, maybe an hour before the next meeting or at some point.
Yes.
Will do. Thank you.
Member Ring.
No, nothing to say.
Member Price-Jones, would you like a second point in there to a workshop be arranged prior to the next meeting?
Yeah, just for interested people.
The organised prior to next.
Sorry, could we amend that just to include that it's a more of a financial overview?
Workshop be organised prior to the next year. As a in relation to financial,
The QBR.
I think
more general finance, looking at the budget, how it operates, get a better understanding of the constraints.
Oh, absolutely. Let's have a general look at where we're up to.
Yeah, I think that'd be the best way.
It'd be good to work through the documents and see how they come together, especially how they come together in the QBRS is kind of.
Why don't we just call it in relation to financial documents relevant to CTWA? Yes, is that general enough?
Yeah.
So, if I could, I think the amendment being proposed, or the alternate motion being proposed by Member Price-Jones, is that Council 1 notes the quarterly budget review statements for the period ending 30th of September 2024 and adopts the proposed budget adjustments. 2, a workshop be organised prior to the next CWA meeting to discuss and make members appraised of the financial documents relating to CTWA. So what you're saying? You're happy with that?
I'm more than happy with that, yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion on this matter?
Second,
Councillor Member Ring, sorry.
When you say prior to, is that just prior to the business meeting on the same day, or is it a full, yeah?
Well, I'll say to yeah, but what I meant was, yeah, prior to the next, prior to the next,
Immediately preceding.
immediately prior to.
Yeah.
Why don't we say immediately prior to? Okay.
I got it.
It doesn't make sense to do it while we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Any further discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion. All in favour? 13.2.2 is the audit of the financial statements. The recommendation is the council note finalising the 2023-24 audit of CTWA's financial statements that were adopted and signed at the CTWA ordinary meeting in August 2024. The audited financial statements were lodged with the Office for Local Government on 31st October 2024. Can I have a mover of a motion, please? Councillor Ring, as per the recommendation.
As per the recommendation.
Second, please. Member O'Grady. Discussion, please, member.
I'm happy with the report that was provided from Cassie from the audit office. I mean, it's they've gone over it. They're satisfied with it. I don't really think there's much to say about it.
Thank you. Member O'Grady.
Nothing further.
Any further discussion on this matter? Member Fry.
Probably just worth noting the auditor's concerns, whilst not imminent, are shared with council about its long-term financial sustainability and its business model generally. It's worth noting.
And that needs to be discussed within the context of the finances when we discuss them.
Absolutely. Two issues that will be discussed in the context of the finances, but also discussed in the context of the organisational structure moving forward.
Thank you, Chair.
There are no further discussions on this matter. I put the motion. All in favour? Carried unanimously. Thank you.
Reports on page 39. August, September and October's. Discussion. Yeah.
No. Right. So 13.2.3 is the investment report for August 2024. The recommendation is the council notes the report. Could I have a mover, please? Member Fry. Member Ring, thanks. Second, Member Ring. And the motion is as per the recommendation. Thank you. Any further discussion on this matter? Michelle.
I just had a question around the interest rate of 4.6% seems a little light. And wondering how we go through that process about organising where those funds are held.
Yeah, and General Manager, yes.
The county council had a really good discussion over the last 6 months about our current banking arrangements and the way in which we were investing our cash. And it was criticised when we started to get a bit of a return, an increase in that interest rate, and we were missing opportunities there. There was a lot of discussion that we should be spending more time on the way this is occurring. We actually did some detailed analysis of that, and the general manager and the administration manager put another 3 or 4 hours into considering where it is. We could have earned about an additional $75 in that period. So we haven't made the adjustments as yet with the banking. and they need to. So this will help me to start the conversation with our Westpacking and the way our arrangements are with them. I found it really hard to just capture their interest.
Any
And
bank,
so,
any of the big banks.
I might come back with something that's maybe new and fresh instead of what we've been before.
You've got a good chair.
Yes.
The government actually prescribes or sets where we can invest
Yeah.
and the category of organisations we can invest. And so you said, had you changed, you would have another $75 for another 3 hours work.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not worth it. That's not worth your time or the chair's time. That's interest rates are low, they might go up, but it depends on your cash flow, how much your money you need at hand, and how much you can put in for short-term investments to increase. So it's not really an easy thing to actually maximise.
But I really appreciate the question, because we need to have that discussion.
Yeah.
And you'll start to feel how small this business is.
Yeah.
And, the opportunity to do these things is very limited. But I want to share that with you, and I think the question is very, very good, because if we are missing out, that's not appropriate. But it's the degree of missing that I'd like to talk.
So yes, we further investigated, I think, General Manager, and we need to look at it. Obviously, if we end up changing banks or something, that's a big thing, dislocation, but we need to keep on top of this and ensuring we are maximising our investments to the extent that at the time is worth it. But yes, it was raised in the last term.
Michelle, speak to the mayor of Lane.
So I'm going to say, I know who raised it, so that's okay.
Any further discussion on this matter?
Singing
If
from the
not-
same prayer book.
If not, I put the motion which follows the recommendation. All in favour? We now go to the investment report for September 2024.
And you've got an October one there as well.
And in October, yes. And the recommendation is council notes the report. Move it, please.
Move.
Member Price Jones, Member Thomas, the seconding. Any discussion? Same as the last time. All in favour? Right. Go now to investment report for October 2024. Recommendation is the council notes report. Move it, please. Member Ring, Member Price Jones, thank you. Any discussion on this matter?
No.
Motion follows the recommendation, I assume. All in favour of the motion? Passed unanimously. Right. We go to 13.3, which is human resources. 13.3.1 is Christmas closure. Recommendation is that during the 2024 Christmas period, CTWA will close at 4 p.m. Friday the 20th of December 2024 and reopen at 8:30 a.m. on Monday the 6th of January 2025. Can I have a mover, please? Member Dorset, Member Thomas, thank you. Member Dorset, any
As per the
as per the recommendation? Thomas, any comments on this one?
Marnie?
Yeah, Marnie, sorry.
Yeah, you're
Did I say
right.
Marnie?
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Marnie.
No, I think that's completely reasonable and in keeping with most organisations. Yeah.
Fine. Any further discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion as per the recommendation. All in favour? Aye. 13.3.2, weed biosecurity officer vacancy. The recommendation is that council note the general manager's report that one biosecurity officer's position is being held vacant pending council's consideration of the organisational structure that is presented to council's ordinary meeting on December 2024. There's a second part to that recommendation that furthermore, during September 2024, a recruitment process was undertaken for a new weeds biosecurity officer following the resignation of Michael Willard. The new employee, Nick Pike, commenced in October 2024. If I could, as an alternate motion, I would put after the council notes, I'd put 1, the general manager's report, and 2, during September 2024, a recruitment process, etc., to make it clear. Yeah, so that's my, and suggest an alternate motion. Have a second for that. Member Fry, thank you. Any further discussion on this matter? Yes.
Just given that we did have a discussion about workload issues, given we're moving into a period where obviously blackberry is going to come up in the fall. I'm expecting there'll be a fair bit of busyness around the work And we just interested in the timing of when that position might be filled, because we may be looking well into February before we can complete a recruitment. So have we got a commencement time for that?
Well, on this one, Member Marnie, what number one that I've just read refers to is that this position has been, I won't say vacant, but effectively vacant, as this person has been on workers' compensation for a period of time. In relation to point two, we've had one person resign and a new person put in place.
Yep.
So the actual body count out of the field is the same as it has been for the last 12 months. And the
Okay.
general manager is suggesting that in relation to one, we continue as is until the organisation structure is settled by the organisational
Okay.
subcommittee coming back to us. So we'll be in the same, we've got basically the same number of people in the field, I have to be careful, but in the field, as we did have for the last 12 months.
Yes,
Okay.
but thank you for raising.
Thank you for raising it.
And as soon as we get that organisational structure group going, we'll have a report coming back to council that will address that matter.
Okay.
Any further discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion as per my alternate motion, which I've read previously. All in favour? Thank you. 13.3.3, Biosecurity Administration Manager position. The recommendation is the council notes the general manager's report that Bethany Beattie has been recruited to the role of Biosecurity Administration Manager and acknowledges the outstanding service and dedication over 7 years to the previous Biosecurity Administration Manager, Lisa Monado. Could I have a mover for recommendation? Thank you, Member Fry and Member Ring. Thank you. Member Fry.
As these.
And welcome to Bethany.
Yeah, I've just got a question.
Member Ring, yes.
Noting the information from the administration, will Bethany be provided the opportunity to acquire financial skills that Lisa had? I mean, sorry to put you on the spot, but I just want to know what training.
What we're doing at the moment, Member Ring, and I will ask the General Manager to just summarise, is that we are using the services of J&J bookkeeping as well to provide.
No, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of that. What I want to know is, are you going to provide an opportunity for Bethany to actually acquire skills moving forward so that all that work is done in-house?
I'll ask through the General Manager.
The recruitment process of the position made that very clear to the applicants that we had changed the job for a short period of time for review in April of next year. So in April of next year, we will be making a decision in consultation with the current incumbent of the position of bringing back in some of those financial tasks that have been outsourced.
So we do.
You're exactly right.
So I think
and there's an opportunity to be paid at a higher grade and to undertake more of that.
But we have the capacity to actually offer Bethany training.
Member Ring, probably if we need to take this discussion further, we may need to go into confidential.
Oh, no, that's fine. No, I appreciate that. Sorry.
Because it may not be appropriate for staff to be present during it.
No, that's fine.
Any further discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion as per the recommendation. All in favour? 13.4, Weed Biosecurity Collaboration. 13.4.1, New South Wales Independent Biosecurity Commissioner Report. The recommendation is council notes a report from the New South Wales Independent Biosecurity Commissioner on consultation with key stakeholders and opportunities for the future of pest and weed management in New South Wales, and the release of the preliminary report by the Natural Resources Commission, New South Wales review of invasive species management in New South Wales. Commissioner's report is attached to Appendix 3. So the mover for the motion, please. Member Price Jones. Seconder, please. Member Dorset, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I think you've already.
I've addressed most of this, so yes. Member Price Jones, do you have anything further?
No, as
Member Dorset?
No.
Thank you. Further discussion on this matter? If not, I put the motion as per the recommendation. All in favour? Thank you. Item 14 is the spring aerial spraying program. recommendation is that council notes the report. Can I move it, please? Have a motion. Member Price Jones, is that seconder, please? Member Fry. Member Price Jones, as per the recommendation, Member Fry. Do you have anything further to add, gentlemen, on this one?
Chris could,
Areas
just
fine.
inform the county council of the program and how it went.
Yeah, so we undertook a spring program this season. The last couple of years, we haven't done a spring program, we've only run an autumn program. Part of that was the lack of product in the market. So in end of September 2021, we launched the product, and then it took several years to come back. So that had an impact, obviously, on what we could do. So we've commenced a spring on this one, and we have an autumn program planned as well, which mapping's already commenced on some of the properties that will be involved in that one.
Chris, you might just mention, because of the new
Yeah.
members,
Oh, yes,
the
sorry.
actual activities we
Activities,
undertake.
no, that's all right, that's
And
all right.
who we use
Sorry,
and
yeah.
how we do it and what we do and what they do.
What
So
they do,
in
yeah,
more
that's right.
detail.
Okay, sorry. So what we do is, as part of the aerial program, we organise with landowners and assist them to be part of the program. So as you can appreciate with aerial, it costs a deal of money to get a machine brought into the area. And often the machine, when the companies are here, they're looking to do larger volumes of work. So what we do is we organise with landowners across the 4 constituent council areas, get them involved in the program, those that want to participate. And what we can do then is, because we've got a larger group of landowners, not just larger landowners, but smaller landowners, it gives the opportunity for everyone to be involved. And it keeps the cost down because we have the machine up here for a number of weeks at a time, so they're not paying for transport costs back and forth from that. As part of that, we cover off a number of different weed species in the program, depending on the time of year. Our 2 main ones being serrated tussock and blackberry, but then we'll also do work on things like St John's wort, thistles, other weeds like that, if it's the right time of year when we've got the machines here. What we do is we meet with the landowners. It's often part of when we're doing property inspections. We'll discuss with them different options, different ideas, different strategies, or it may be ongoing clients that we've had from years past that use the service on a semi-regular basis as well. Our staff help plan those works and undertake the mapping of what's undertaken on the property. So the properties are mapped, the infestations are mapped in our system, and then that data is then loaded up into the helicopter portal, and then that's what the machines spray and fly off. Then we have the helicopter company, which we are now using Rotor Solutions. We've used them for a couple of programs now. They've been quite professional and really good to work with. They then undertake the work with our staff, so they provide the helicopter, the pilot, and ground crews and ground equipment. And then our staff help facilitate with their crew on the days that we undertake the spraying programs. So it's a group effort between our organisation and their organisation. And then at the end of it, we get all the flight data and all the records, and then that's all provided back to the landowners as well. So they've got a record of what was sprayed where, and they can carry on their groundworks around what they've treated from above. So yeah, that's sort of how we progress with that. The last program we've done was down on numbers in an area compared to the previous. But as Tim mentioned before in the earlier session, a great deal of that is to do with the cost, and particularly the cost with chemical products at the moment. Obviously, the lower those costs are, the more people can afford to get done as part of the program.
And in this spring program, you mainly do, a lot of it's serrated tussock, which has the most expensive chemical wildlife.
So we'll see in the autumn program, we'll see a great deal more blackberry and stuff like that done because like time of year, this one, we were sort of on that early edge for the blackberries, so.
And we're not the cheapest in the aerial field, but the additional add-on services we provide, such as the mapping, getting provision of chemical and getting it to site and working with the helicopter operator. A large number of landholders come to us because it's a one-stop shop here at all that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, last time I was on council, I raised the use of potential use of drones moving forward. Was there any discussion in the last 3 years about the use of drones for mapping and for aerial spraying?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
That's a really good question.
yeah, so no, we have been doing more mapping with drones. We're using them on a regular basis for our inspections, a lot of recording for that, especially for directions and pins and all that sort of things. We have looked into aerial spraying with drones. There are a number of companies around us that utilise that quite a bit. The helicopter company that we're currently using also offers that service as well. There are also a number of other drones, sprayers in our area that are undertaking work, not just private works, but for other state organisations as well. And we try to sort of support landowners in what's going to be the best fit for them. Is ground work the best? Is aerial work the best? Is drone work the best? And then we try and sort of support them and point them in the direction of that.
Chris, what we're hearing is that the drones just can't carry enough.
They don't have
At the moment.
the maximum was a 60-litre tank. I've actually looked at it recently myself, and the maximum is a 60-litre tank, which compared to what's a helicopter, 1,000 litres, it's looking at
There's a big difference.
and it's the number of times they've got to fill up,
Yeah.
and that means they've got to move the vehicles as well to be able to fill them up. If it's so large.
And I'm clear they require around drone spraying, they require multiple crew to fly the drone. In a nutshell, it comes down to access and things like that. Like the helicopter can do in 5 minutes what takes the drone an entire day. But there's spots we can't put a helicopter that we can utilise a drone instead. So, yeah.
It has come forward, but not at the rate I think we were expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But it's an evolving science, that one.
yeah, I was just going to add, when we went out for applications for this, there was a number of drone companies that came back to us and said they were interested. But then when they filled out their submissions and they realised the scale of what we were doing, they just sort of said, look, we'd like to do it, but we just can't be competitive
They just
and,
won't
and,
compete.
and undertake that much work in that short a time frame.
How much is it costing per hectare for the aerial spraying now?
So depending what we're spraying, what do I say on that now?
The amount, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
If you put our charge out, right?
Yeah. So 242 was the last price for blackberry.
That's per hectare.
And tussock was sitting at 374, but that's about to become adjusted. That will decrease a little bit. But that's in grand total of everything. So that includes the helicopter. It includes chemical. It includes all the mapping and all the other. That's grand total to the landowner, including the GST. Basically, they've just got to show us what they want mapped, and we take care of the rest of it.
Member Fry, you had a question, sorry.
Oh, it was on the other line of inquiry about the drones. I'm sure you spoke to the same through Ripper Corporation at the field days recently. Good for hard to access areas, spot spraying, but by the looks of the machines, nowhere near capable of broad acre spraying. There could be opportunity though, because with DJI drones, the ones that were on display, they do provide one-on-one training and functionality of that aircraft and licensing too, inclusive in the price. So it's worth having on the back burner if we end up looking into our operations and that business restructure, whether there's a place for these machines at all. So we shouldn't write them off, but I've maintained contact with a few of those, knowing this discussion would come up.
Very expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, about 55, which
Yeah.
is, you know, you can get a Mitsubishi Triton with a weed sprayer for that as well, and you can cover a lot more ground.
All right, any further discussion on this matter? If not, I'll put the recommendation, all in favour? There's the motion, right. We go to item 15, biosecurity compliance. The recommendation is council notes report. Can we move it please for a motion? Member Ring. Member Dawson, do you have your hand up? Or were you
I will.
scratching?
No, I will. Bit of both. Bit of both. Was putting my hand up, I was scratching on the way. You are now.
Sorry. Member Ring.
Look, as the recommendation stands, just to note the report, I think it's very positive and the system's working. I appreciate it's time, it consumes a lot of time. We need to get that balance right, but the system is working and it's good to see.
Look, that's the first meeting response. I think that there could have been a better one because the.
I can withdraw it if you want.
No. It's once said, never taken back. Just to be able to share that with the team that it's coming out of the chamber, that, you know, you're appreciative of those sort of numbers and what work is being done. When we discuss this organisational structure, that's when the rubber's going to hit the road for us. I think it's the next step. How do we keep going?
Member Dawson.
As
Okay. Further discussion? No, I'll put the motion, all in favour? 15.2 is penalty infringement notices. The recommendation is that council notes the report. Can I have a motion, please? Member Gulliver, as per the recommendation. Thank you. Second, please. Member Ring, thank you. Member Gulliver, any comment? Member Ring?
No.
Any other discussion on this issue?
how long have they been outstanding of the 22 second pins? Is that just in that quarter or this rolled over to
Mr.
this?
General Manager, can you address that? Because some of them have been outstanding for some time.
Revenue New South Wales do the collection. A high number of people with these types of penalties elect to have fortnightly instalment payments. So that outstanding could consist of a whole lot of people paying back $1,000. So it's those stats I think are just a little bit misleading. I think there's another way for us to report that. But, Revenue New South Wales, I'll do that with our penalty infringement notices. But at the moment, they're not making available things like review because they're not up to speed with Biosecurity Act. We've been pushing it, but we're the only one issuing this sort of number of penalties for them to do it. So we also carry the burden of when a person seeks a review of a penalty infringement notice. Chris writes them, sends them, they then appear in my office and I review them. It's ridiculous.
So yeah, so the instalment periods can go over 10 years.
10 years.
It can go a long time, yes.
And I don't know why the position of Revenue New South Wales is like it is where it's sold. But they're very good, they're very accurate, we know where we're up to all the time.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, so one of the things is, once they get a penalty infringement notice, it can affect a lot of other issues for a person, so, yeah.
Yeah, so, penalty infringement notice, as discussed, goes through service in New South Wales. So the PIN then affects other things, like registrations, license renewals, things like that. So if they have an outstanding PIN, even though it's only $1,000 fine, has more flow-on effect in that they can't renew their license, they can't renew their car registration, they can't do any of that until they pay
Or
revenue
commence
back.
paying.
Or commence
Yeah.
paying, sorry, or commence paying for the PIN that's been assigned to them back to revenue, so.
In the same way that if you get an infringement notice for fishing in the wrong area, it still rolls through Service New South Wales and could end up in demerit points.
Right, okay, further discussion on this matter? All right, if not, I put the motion as per the recommendation, all in favour? Thank you. Unanimously passed. Item 16, other matters, council meeting schedule. The recommendation is that council adopts the proposed meeting schedule. I just noticed that we, on the 21st of February, are we now going to propose a workshop to start at 12 p.m. for financial matters?
Well,
We have a workshop in April, but we're going to put one at 12 p.m. on the 21st of February.
no, I think you articulated that it would have to be on the 20th of December.
Yeah, it's the next meeting.
Oh, that next one is.
The finance one.
Okay, well, make it, yes, absolutely, make it.
So I'll just be bringing you in at least an hour earlier than the start time.
So,
I can't make that day though.
20th of
So
December.
remember the date, these are numbers that came out of Tim's head, so please discuss how this is going to fit.
So if I could have a mover and a seconder, and then I suggest we have an amended motion that takes the top, and then go and remember Price Jones, right? Any discussion by you two, or we wait till the amendments? Okay, so the date should be, I think we're in a position to discuss the dates. I think we have an amendment that the 20th of December might be changed. I'll just foreshadow that. Have we got any other changes at this stage? And at the December meeting should include a workshop at 12 p.m. on financial issues.
It wouldn't matter, would it, if, I mean, the financial one, if it went through till February, because you'd then have December figures to be working on, whereas in December, we probably don't have another quarter's figures. So it wouldn't hurt if we could change the prior one to say that maybe February was a better time for that, because we'll have another set of accounts
Right.
to be able to look at what's happened in the,
Hadn't we already moved that one?
We've already moved it,
Yeah.
so that's already done.
Yeah.
so we
Well,
can't change
The resolution
Yeah,
was
the
to
resolution
have
was the
the
next meeting.
next meeting, which is the December meeting.
It is the next, yes, that's right. We'd have to assume that motion and come back.
Yeah, no, we'll just leave it.
So, has anyone have you got any suggested dates, if you want to change the 20th?
Well, the prior, the 13th or the following, the 27th.
The
27th, no different.
Forget the 27th.
I'm unavailable any other Friday in December. Sorry, I'm already.
Can I just ask a question? Is it the start time of the 20th or the 20th?
The whole day is out of the way, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
No, sorry.
I would have done the morning, but I just can't that day.
Yeah, my December is so full.
Yeah.
And it's 20th is the only day that I've got, but I'm happy to defer.
Well, the alternative is it's all recorded for me, but at least I can see the financial overview. Yeah.
I would like to be flexible and try to change my appointment, but I certainly cannot. I don't have an option with that, I'm sorry.
Are you able to attend by 10?
No, I've got an event.
What are other people's views? 20th?
I think all through the whole term, we're gonna have dates where some of us, for one reason or the other, can't attend. I don't think you're gonna get a set of dates that are unanimous. And even if you've got nothing there, all of a sudden you've got a health issue, or you've got to go to a doctor. There are things that will come up. I think we've just got to set the dates and then just work towards it. And you can always bring back questions or issues for next meeting or send.
Yeah, if it's recorded,
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
at least I can see.
Yeah.
We can record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. If I'm the only sticking them up, that's fine.
All right, so the motion at the moment is that council adopts the proposed meeting schedule below, with the only alteration being on the 20th of December 2024 where a workshop will be scheduled for 12 p.m. to deal with financial documentation relating to the council.
Do you need it for 12 p.m? I mean, the meeting's starting at 2, you really only need an hour to go over the finances, I would imagine.
Well, I'll leave that to discussion now. How long do you want? How long do you think we need?
I've met some councillors that can talk about finances and council for a long.
He's not.
I'm still not
on this council
understanding.
any longer. And get excited about it too.
I like finances, but I've first met the other ones that just don't get it, and don't ever get it.
So do you want 1 o'clock?
Yeah, maybe 1 o'clock.
Yeah, look, I think an hour, I mean, we're doing finances in our constituent councils.
Yeah.
And for those who are new, they'll have the opportunity to go and do financial training.
We're not offering that.
No, no.
We're offering to appraise people of the finances, but bring them up to speed,
Yeah.
so they understand the issues, understand where we are with the QBRS, etc. And part of that will be indicating our financial challenges going ahead.
Yeah,
That's how I see it.
Yeah, and the surplus from last financial year was just over 8,000.
Yeah.
So the organisation's running on a knife edge.
That's right.
That's right. It's a very lean organisation. Any changes in this 12-month period could seriously impact the operating figure at the end.
The recommendations around the review of the staff establishment will be a high risk.
Yeah.
That we have to take in.
Do we have the policy of risk
Yep,
Policy.
enterprise risk management approach.
on the webpage?
Yes.
So as per the recommendation, apart from that, there will be a workshop at 1 p.m. on the prior to the ordinary meeting on the 20th of December 2024. We all happy with that?
Yep.
Can I have a seconder for that, please? Member Gulliver, thank you. Any further discussion? If not, I put the motion. All in favour?
Mr. Chairman, one of the members needs to leave the meeting at this
Yes.
time, so we have a belated apology.
I know, Member Dorset, you have to leave.
Sorry,
We
apologies.
we have another member who is inquiring whether the meeting would be concluded by 4 o'clock as well. Thank you.
Well, it depends how quickly we get through the.
That was me, I think, was it? Oh, okay.
Thank you.
No, you take it.
Well, I think I've asked that question, but I'm actually out now. I'm going to go to Dubbo.
And then excuse, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Lovely meeting you.
Thank you.
Item 17, there are no notices of motion or rescission motions. Item 18, there are a number of confidential reports. Dealing with item 12, termination of employment, 13 herbicide repricing write-off, 14 prosecution update, and 15 property inspections, August, September, October. General Manager considers that in accordance with section 9(2)A of Local Government Act 1993, the business on the agenda designated that I have just written and listed in table 1 is of a kind referred to in section 10(a)(2) of the Act and should be dealt with as part of the meeting closed to the media and public. And further, in accordance with section 10(b)(1) of the Act, is considered a discussion of the businesses in open meeting would on balance be contrary to the public interest. Could I have someone to move us into closed confidential, please? Thank you, Member Christchurch. Seconder, please, Member Fry. Thank you. All in favour? Thank you. Could I ask the recording cease, please?